From personal experience, as well as I'm around many different founders now and seeing a lot of stories and a lot of early stage companies that might end up pivoting and finding the fit. I think the key is keeping expenses and burn down low enough to survive long enough.
That's right.
To find the fit and the customers. And sometimes your first initial market that you're trying to serve is not the one that you're going to end up ultimately serving. But I do think between A and B being the landed customer and the market fit,
right, that's
the Death Valley. And what everyone's searching for is, how do you get through that? I have my thoughts, but I'm curious of is there something maybe you experienced it is what one or two things that you might have experienced that you did that kept things going to the point where you at least got some traction?
So Bootstrap, right? The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, I think.
Yeah.
All of these things are wonderful, but in reality, most startups rely on funding, right? You take a concept and you try to receive funding. But in hindsight, if I could, I would have tried to create as many revenue opportunities. And we kind of, in our situation, we were a little different because we did start as an engineering company, and we got a tier one carrier interested in us, and we got accepted for design and development, but they wouldn't pay us. So that led us to go into the whole seek capital. So how do you bootstrap? No, you go to your friends and family, your seed planning, and then you stretch it out, you bootstrap it. And then when we did pivot and we did receive money to follow our budgetary guideline, where you hire employees, so you don't have to do everything yourself, so everything is done correctly, the burn increases. But sadly, you got to keep that going, and the only way to keep that going is to generate revenue. You can't rely on funding, and I think too many people count on, I'm going to make a seed round, I'm going to get C2 or A.
No, you can't do it.
No, I think monetize as soon as possible. And a friend of mine at AT&T, he had a son, I want to call him a friend, he's a good guy, and he was trying to get us to the right people at AT&T. And he asked, I'd like to pick your brain sometime for my son. What would you recommend? And the first thing I thought of was, if I had to do this all over again, I would have ran an e-commerce platform. I would have just said, buy t-shirts and learn basic business, right? You got inventory, you got goods.
Yeah.
How do you market and sell it? How do you differentiate yourself? And I said, I'd tell every person to start their own e-commerce company, just to understand buy, sell, and basic business and transaction and marketing. And that's what I've learned in hindsight. Everything that you read about, you study, it's great in theory, but in application, you don't know how the market, we haven't even been attacked yet by competitors. No, everything is circumstantial. And I think how we respond to these circumstances really